In the previous video, we looked at cold temperatures, so welcome to this new video today where I'm going to talk about high temperatures and how high temperatures can affect epoxy flooring projects. Let me just start by saying, if I have to choose between high temperatures or cold temperatures, I will always go for warm high temperatures. Working in warm temperatures is always better than cold temperatures, I can assure that. Just to repeat what I said in the previous video, most epoxy flooring products should be applied between 10 and 30 degrees Celsius. Those are the best temperatures, which is about 50 to 86 Fahrenheit, ideally 20 to 25. Today we're going to talk about those 30 plus temperatures, when you have 30 or 35 or even 40 degrees Celsius, which is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. What do you do when you have such high temperatures? How do you deal, and how will your flooring project be affected? Remember, we're always talking about several things. We're talking about the temperature of the room and how that will affect your project. We're talking about the surface, the actual surface, how warm or cold the surface is. And actually later on, I'm going to talk about the temperature of the actual product. What happens if you put the product in a hot place. So I'm going to talk about these things today. And let's look at the number one thing that will affect you when you work with hot temperatures. The curing time is much faster. So floors do cure and much quicker under warm temperatures, which means it's good in the sense that you can complete a project in a shorter amount of time. But of course, that also means pot life is short. So yes, on the one side, you can complete a project and you can hand it over to your customer. But it also means when you're actually working with a product, you need to be careful. Because if you're used to working with a product that, say, needs 40 minutes to cure, it may actually start flashing at 25 minutes or 20 minutes, or even it's happened in 15 minutes, which is really fast. So you need to have really well organized workers that know what's going on, and they'll understand that they have to work fast. This is really important, and if workers are not used to working in high temperatures, you should prepare them in advance. Don't expect them to figure it out when the work starts happening during the application. The third important thing with high temperatures is thixotropy and leveling. Have a look at this picture here. This is a beautiful smooth floor. I did this floor in August, where it's very warm in my part of the world, in Greece. I don't know if I would have done this project in January if I would have gotten such a great result. And the reason is because hot weather helps the product flow and level out better. When it's cold, you get all sorts of weird trowel marks in the product. Even though you think it looks leveled, it doesn't actually look that nice. So really, in the summer, when you're working on a warm substrate and the temperature is nice and warm, you can really get this really nice flow of product. I'm not saying it's impossible to get such a beautiful product, such a beautiful floor if you do it in the middle of the winter, but I'm saying it's much, much harder. So definitely, when it's warm, you can get great mirror finishes. Of course, keep in mind, you also have to do a bunch of other things to make sure you get this type of floor finish. Now, the fourth thing I want to mention about working in warm weather is safety. High temperatures can cause nausea and dizziness when you inhale the odors, whether it's just some chemicals, the epoxy chemicals, whether it's some solvent you may have used to clean your tools, or there's solvent inside the product. All these things create fumes and odors. I find that if it's cold weather, it's easier to deal with these fumes. When it's hot and you're sweating and you're feeling drowsy because of the heat, having an additional odor can be overwhelming sometimes. So keep this in mind when you're working with solvents. Keep this in mind. You don't want it to be too hot. Be aware of this risk that working with smelly products in the summer can be overwhelming. So definitely make sure you take your safety measures. Another problem you have in the summer is workers don't like wearing masks because they get all sweaty and stuffy. So they want to remove their masks, but by removing the mask, they end up inhaling all these solvents and other chemicals. So it really is something you need to consider, that hot weather can affect the safety. Some tips: keep the goods stored in standard room temperatures, which means even though it's a hot day, try to keep your goods in a cold place. And I'll tell you why just now. Do not store in vans. I had to post this picture here of my van, and the reason why I'm posting this picture is a few years ago we were working in this project. It was during a heat wave, but I wasn't worried about the heat wave because we were working inside nicely air-conditioned rooms. However, I left the van outside in the sun. So when we actually took the products out of the van and we applied them, the products were so hot they were curing within 10 minutes. We had not realized that even though it was inside in air-conditioned rooms, outside it was so hot that the product started like curing immediately after being mixed together. So very important that if you are storing your products in vans, make sure you move them out of a van, put them in a cool place so you will not have a problem when you actually start mixing and applying the products. One more tip, I said it before, have a prep talk with workers when you are working in hot weather because of all these risks associated. And also be careful of sweating. We sweat a lot in the summer, and what ends up happening is if the sweat drips on the floor or drips on the coating, that can cause like discolorations on the coating. It can cause moisture problems on the coating. So make sure if you are sweating or whoever is sweating, always make sure you have a towel with you to be able to wipe off the sweat. Do not rely on, not expect that the sweat will just go away. This can be a serious issue. I've had problems with sweat in the past on very hot days. So that's my presentation on hot weather. Please tell me your questions. Please leave your comments below. I'm really looking forward to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, share it and subscribe to our channel so more people can find out and we can spread this information. Thank you very much. And don't forget, if you want to learn more about us, you can go to the website on the top, www.ktisys.eu. That is our product website. And below, LearnCoatings.com, that is our training and educational website where you can get all the information on our online training programs. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to hear from you soon and to hear your comments. Thank you.